Welcome, everyone. My name is Michael Reardon, and this is Coaching in Session. And today we're going to be talking about business, sales, and everything you need in order to grow yourself, your business, and your life. Now, for the people who might not have a business yet, I want you to understand that just because you don't have a business, it doesn't mean you don't sell. We sell all the time. If you're looking to be in a relationship, for example, you're going to sell that. If you're looking to maybe get a promotion, you're going to have to sell yourself to your boss. Hey, I'm doing this. This is the type of person I am. I'm a valuable person. There's sales all around us in the world. Yet the way we think about sales is we think of transactional, where I'm trading something to someone. Yes, that can be sales. But at the same time, sales can be just the understanding of what you need to do or what you need to say or what you need to read in order to make something happen. So today I'm going to be bringing on a sales expert, business coach, Kathy Walterhouse. She's going to be helping us understand what sales are and how you can be better at them. So let's get into the episode with Kathy and myself. Welcome, Kathy Walterhouse, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic. How are you today, Michael?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for making time and coming on. Today, I have you on as a business coach, and you do so much more than that. I am going to allow you to, in just a moment, tell everyone what you do and how you help them. But a business coach is essential. I remember when I had started my business and I was in the beginning of, all right, I'm about to start this large journey, this long journey of being an entrepreneur. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, man, what am I doing? I'm failing. And it wasn't until I got a business coach where everything started to turn around. So there's so many entrepreneurs that are going to be listening. There's going to be people who are getting ready or maybe have an idea of starting a business. And I know the conversation that we are going to be having today is going to spark that invigoration in them to get a business coach like yourself. But in your own words, can you introduce yourself to the world and tell them what you do and how you help them?
Absolutely. So again, my name's Kathy Walterhouse. I'm known as the professional rule breaker. I'm a sales expert. I've sold close to $1 billion. So yeah, $1 billion with a B. And I work with entrepreneurs, go-getter entrepreneurs, and I also work with small to mid-size businesses as well. And I help them look at their sales strategy and ignite their sales.
Yeah, that's important because if you don't have sales, you're not going to be able to stay afloat. So a lot of people, they get into the business with good intentions. Most likely they're like, okay, I want to do this to serve the world. Sometimes they don't even have a good marketing plan. What is some of the common things you see when you first start working with someone and you're like, wait, you've been doing this? That is one of like maybe a red flag or a big mistake.
So it kind of varies. It depends. So let's say it's an entrepreneur and it's somebody that's new to business. So they're super passionate about what it is that they want to put out in the world. And they're really, really good at it. But when it comes to business, on the other hand, maybe they've never done sales, maybe they've never done accounting, maybe there's a lot of things that they haven't done, marketing or whatever it is. So on the sales and marketing side, that's where I really help people understand that first off, everyone can sell and everyone can market. And I give this example, like for example, let's say you're dating someone. So when you're dating someone, you're showing them the best of who you are. And you're telling them about really great features of who they are and kind of painting a picture, maybe even like of a future or something like that. So what you're doing is you're selling. And most people don't even realize that. Like they're selling every single day. Like when they go to a restaurant, they want to order something. In essence, they're selling. They're like, hey, this is what I want. And telling, that's a very simple terms, but telling the waiter, waitress, this is what I'm looking for. Or, hey, instead of putting garlic on it, can you do something else? That's all selling. So everybody can sell. So that's the first thing, get rid of the mindset that that's something that you can't do. And then also kind of reframe what selling is. So I almost don't even like the term selling because it's not so much about selling, but it's about building relationships. And when you build those relationships and you try to help whomever it is, your customer, your business, or the business that you're trying to sell to, perhaps go from point A to point B, that's going to be solving a problem. It's going to be giving them a transformation, maybe getting rid of some pain or something that they're because it's all it is moving away from the pain, the problem to a solution or pleasure. So that's what that is. And kind of again, also to show people that selling isn't slimy. I actually think selling is really noble. And that's what the type of selling that I teach is noble selling, because I feel that without selling, human sales, like the world would come to a halt. Nobody would know what products are out there. Commerce would come to a halt because they need sales. So yeah, maybe I'm a little biased, but I think, sales makes the world go around.
Yeah, no, sales from where it was to where it is today is totally different. Today is almost like we're providing you a service rather than selling you something. We're giving you a solution rather than just giving you product. Maybe people thought of like old insurance people coming to your door, knocking on the door saying, hey, do you need insurance? Like those salespeople. And I think like salespeople now have a bad rep, but they do so much today. Like, as you said, it makes the world go round. And that is 100% true. We need people to sell. We need to understand that we sell all the time, whether we're ordering at a restaurant or we have a business and we're making a sale to a client. We don't want to get into that mindset, especially if you're an entrepreneur, that you don't have value in your product. So if you're going to sell coaching, for example, you're not going to say, well, I don't want to charge them too much because, like they're going to be off put. You understand your value. And then you just have to help the other person understand your value, selling the relationship. For example, just how you use the relationship example, you know how wonderful you are. The other person just has to understand that too. So selling is all around us. We do have to understand how to sell. I do want to talk to you about where we can be weak and where we can be strong, because everyone can be a seller, but maybe not everyone loves selling or like making sales. For me, it's like, I don't mind making sales, but I guess you can say my passion is just coaching and teaching and educating. So guess what I have? I have a sales team. And marketing, the same thing. I have a marketing team. At some point, I said, I have to delegate this, not because I don't want to do it, but because I can find so much more purpose and I can make a greater impact in a different area. How do you help people define where they're strong at and where they're weak at, especially when it comes to sales and marketing?
Okay. Well, that's a good question. Well, I would say one thing. I mean, everybody has their strengths, that they're, something that they're really, really good at. And that's really where you need to focus. You kind of alluded to this about outsourcing. So you outsource your marketing, you outsource your sales. You need to focus on where you are the strongest. But that doesn't mean that you can't do selling, that you can't do marketing, you can't do all those things. I would say a lot of time when people have weaknesses, they think that they can't do it, and that makes them weak, rather than going ahead and actually trying to do something to discover, are they good at it? Or are they not good at it? I mean, for example, like even with me, when I first started out in the business world, I wanted to be a traditional marketer. That's what I went to school for. And it was interesting because I was told, because of my personality, I'm fairly outgoing. They're like, you should be in sales. And I was like, oh, no, because I never thought I could do sales. And I also had a preconceived notion that all selling was slimy. So I got dragged into it kicking and screaming. And after the very first time, especially when I realized that I was helping somebody, it was like a light bulb moment for me. So I think, if you're weak at something, try it first. The second thing that I just learned recently, actually, because I also have a podcast as well, it's called The Professional Rule Breaker. And one of my guests brought something up. And I just thought, well, this is fantastic. So do something that you think is even harder than what you think your weakness is. Like in this particular example that this individual gave, he gave doing karaoke. And I was thinking, well, that for me would be really hard to do. And he's like, if you do that, go out there and you do karaoke. Well, now the thing that you thought you were weak in, or the thing that you thought was hard, doesn't look so hard anymore because you did this thing that is super, super hard. So that's one thing I would say too, is just try it, because you just don't know until you try something if you're going to be any good at it and if you're going to like it. And then secondly, as far as like outsourcing, sometimes You have to know, like outsourcing sales. I think that's really smart to do if you are really good in other areas, but you have to be a leader in your business and you have to be able to help the people that are selling for you. You need to be able to show them how to do it, set up a framework on how to do it, and show them how to do that. Because it's really hard. Because what I've seen is sometimes people will outsource the sales and they just tell the salespeople, go do it. And then it doesn't really work out that great. So, immerse yourself in the things that maybe you think you're weak. You may find that you're not weak in it. And then secondly, if you are, it's great to outsource, but remember, you still have to be that leader. And then of course, thirdly, if you're weak in something, there are always people to help you out there. I remember early on in my sales journey, there was a time I had made an appointment to go see someone and I was sitting in the car and I was going, oh my gosh, I just don't know if I can do this. I was having all that doubt, the imposter syndrome, everything. I don't know what I'm doing. I was just scared. So I gave myself a pep talk. I'm like, just go in there. Just go in there. And lucky for me that I did, because that individual that I went to do that sales call ended up being my mentor and taught me everything that I know about sales, everything I know about negotiation. His company ended up going public as well. And, he took me under his wing. And so it's really important for people to find mentors, whether it's like in the case of selling, it's a sales coach, like myself or someone else, whomever you jive the best with. Or if you're, you don't know much about business, it's good to find a mentor. So that mentor has already done it. They're successful at it. And that's the thing to look for. Look for the people that have already done it, that are successful in whatever niche they have. Because that's one of the things I've seen. There's a lot of people out there that unfortunately, call themselves a coach or say they're a sales guru or whatever, and they have little to no experience in it. So, and they hammer people over the head, which I think is really wrong to do. To get their money, they get into a program and then the program doesn't serve them. And then they come out worse because they spent a lot of money and they have nothing to show for it.
When we start something, that beginner aspect, I think we all just have that fear of like, can I do this? Will I be good at it? Will they see I'm not good at it, or will they see I'm a beginner at it? My first experience with this was when I was a swim coach in college. I taught swimming. When I was going through that training process with my boss and, I was in the water with him, I knew how to swim. But when it came to like teaching someone else how to swim, I hope I'm doing it right. And there's so much self-doubt. And eventually it just becomes second nature, where you just do it enough. It's just like, this is easy. And I remember the first time he gave me a kid, he goes, here you go, teach him how to swim. I was like, I don't know what to do after I just saw him teaching me how to teach these kids how to swim. I was like, do I even know how to swim? But then as soon as I got comfortable teaching, I got really good at it. When I became a teacher, I was really good at it. And if I didn't do that swim coaching before I was a teacher, I would have went through that same process when I was a teacher. I would have had that doubt in my head saying, am I good at this? I already knew I was good at it. I went in and I shined. So I was a beginning teacher, like beginner year teacher, and I was outshining veteran teachers. And it wasn't because I had all these years of experience. It was just because I was brave enough to begin. I learned and I filled in all the holes that I had in education. Sales is a different story because that wasn't until later in life when I started the business. Then I really had to look at sales too. Just the education beginner aspect of things. People are afraid to begin. People are afraid to acknowledge that they have some type of weakness. But if you can acknowledge that there is some room for improvement, then you're going to begin to improve, right? Because you're allowing yourself to make those improvements. For the people who just kind of run away from the things that they're afraid of, the things they're not good at, how can you ever get good at them? You have to do the things that you don't like. For example, if you like going to the gym, but you don't like doing legs, or if you don't like doing cardio, eventually at some point, you're going to have to do it because it's the balance there. We have to have that balance. You're not going to be a really good coach and suck at sales, and then you don't have any money to pay your team or your employees. So there is a balance that we have to figure out. We were talking about like the power of like delegation and like helping people outsource things along those lines, helping people become a beginner. When a person finally gets a good understanding of how to sell, how to do the job, we get into the aspect of being that leader you were saying, right? Know how to lead a team. Can you give us a little bit of pointers on how a leader can lead a team effectively and not so much more maybe in the toxic manner of just go out and sell?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I would say the number one thing, the first step is you have to care. You have to care about the people that work for you. You have to care about the results for them and personally, and the results for your business. And you have to have an understanding, that they're starting something new. They don't know anything about your process. So you have to have a process in place that is repeatable. So let's just say, for example, and it depends on the type of item that you're selling too. So if you're selling something that is pretty easy, it's a widget, it's a product, it has features and benefits, then you can give, your person that sells for you a script to follow with freedom as well. But let's say you're selling something that's a little bit more complicated and maybe it's a higher ticket offer. With that, those people really almost need to be trained in your selling philosophy, because you could get people that come in and they want to hammer people. They just want to hit them over the head. They just want to close. It's all about the transaction. They don't probably have the same values that you do. So you have to train them on the methodology and your mission on what it is that you want to accomplish, so that they know, this is what they need to do and how they need to talk to people. The second thing is they have to know how to follow up. That's one thing I have seen probably more than anything else, with salespeople that aren't successful. They don't follow up, or they meet with a client. They're like, yeah, I'm going to send you information. And then they never send it. I'm like, how do you expect to close anything if you don't send the information, if you don't do what you say you're going to do? I mean, that's kind of like one of my big rules. It's like a non-negotiable for me, is always do what you say you're going to do. And then my second non-negotiable is sell how you want to be sold to. Put yourself in your client, so this prospect that you have on the phone or you have in Zoom, put yourself in their shoes. And that's what your salespeople should be doing, knowing that they're new, they want information, they may not totally understand what the great outcomes they can get. And you have to have a salesperson that can ask questions, because when you ask the right questions, you can really find out a lot about somebody, whether it's somebody on the phone or somebody on Zoom. You can find out a lot about them, and you can take them by the hand. And that's really what selling is you take somebody by hand and you lead them to a path of transformation. And then if by chance, if it is in Zoom or it's in person, if you're lucky enough to have either one of those, you watch the body language. The body language will tell you like so much. It's literally like an unspoken language. If somebody sits up and is looking at you and has an excited look in your face, okay, you know that they're excited. There's not anything that maybe you need to answer anymore, and they're engaged with you. If you have somebody that's sitting back with their arms crossed like this, okay, that's putting up like a hand going, So you need to dig. You have to keep on digging and digging and digging to see really why are they there and what is it that they really need. And then you have these other people that are, I would say, all over the place. They're very fidgety and they make all these movements and stuff like that. They're really uncomfortable. Well, you kind of do what they do. Like if they're sitting back and they're like this, you sit back. If they're sitting forward, you sit forward. You mirror what they do. And what that does is it makes people feel comfortable. So that was a mouthful. I know.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, all of that was delightful. It was great. And it's so important. Like all the things you said, body language, know what you're doing. Like, for example, like sell how you would like to be sold. That is like,
it's like my golden rule.
Yeah, like it is so powerful. Like even for me, and like all the business I do, it's the same thing. It's like I always ask myself this: would I be a part of this? Would I want to listen to this episode? And when I edit the episodes, I always make sure, would I listen to this episode? And if it's not a yes, like, yes, I would listen to this episode, the episode doesn't air, right? So like, that's how I do it. So quality control is there, but most of the guests that I have on are just phenomenal, just like yourself. And they come on with so much wisdom on the work that they do, right? So like helping people understand the art of business, the art of selling, learning body language. I'm sure people are going to be listening to this and they're going to say, body language, I didn't even think about that. Of course it's there, right? Of course it's there. But unless someone makes it aware, it's one of those things that we don't pay attention to. Or mirroring, it's one of the things that we don't pay attention to, because we might just be so laser focused on my script, or I'm so laser focused on the sale. I'm going to keep on hammering until I get it, because that's what I was taught, to get the sale. If I don't get the sale, I fail. Do you think if someone fails by not getting the sale, that is considered a failure, or is there some type of success in there too?
No, I love failures. I know that sounds weird. But I have always said the biggest success comes out of failures. So what I mean by that is, okay, you didn't get the sale. So you go back and you look at it. Why didn't you get the sale? Did you not ask the right questions? Were you not listening? Because that's what happens a lot of times with salespeople, is the customer is trying to tell you things and you're too busy trying to figure out what you're going to say next, that you're not listening. And so, I mean, sometimes it's literally like talk less, listen more. If you do that, then all this wisdom, all this jewels are going to be coming from your prospect, telling you exactly the path to take. Like, for example, there's a car that I wanted to buy. In this day and age, you can look everything up. You know how much everything costs. You know which dealer has what, and all the features of every single car. So the car I wanted was on this lot of this particular dealer, color, everything I've been looking for. I went there with my husband because I was like, I'm buying this car. We're going to go buy this car. Well, guess what happens? I get a salesperson. This salesperson is not listening to me. Like literally, I walked in there ready to buy the car. He didn't even have to say anything. I was ready to buy the car because I already knew a lot about that type of car anyway. And he wasn't listening. And he just kept on talking. I bent over to my husband and I said, I need a salesperson to sell me this car, right? Because I'm like, I am so ready. He's missing every single buying signal out there. Like, it was just insane. So you have to listen to the customer. Let them talk and ask questions, when it's appropriate.
Allowing someone just to speak, get everything out. They just have all these things. When people come to me for the consultation, they have something that they're looking for, right? Whether it be relationship, career, whatever it is, that's what we're talking about. I'm not going to say, well, you know what? I can also help you with your kids, and start talking about their kids, right? If they're calling me for their career, they don't like their job, we're going to talk about that. And we're just going to dig deep into it. Like, tell me about that job. Tell me about what you like about it, what you don't like about it, things that you would change. What are you looking for? And we just dive into that for 30 minutes, them literally just talking and me just asking questions. And it's so powerful because at the end of it, when it's time to say, well, what's the next step? It's like a no-brainer for them. But if I was just to say, all right, well, that was a great conversation. If you want to sign up, here's the link. I'm not making the sale, right? I'm just literally saying, well, I have that service that you're looking for, but I'm not selling you. I'm just saying, well, here it is. Good luck. Like if you don't sign up, I'll see you around. We want to see people not only for like them being our clients, but seeing that they have an issue that we want to be the problem solvers for, right? So if you're coming to me and you have a career problem, I want to solve that problem for you. I want to. It's not that I can. I know I can, but I want you to know that I want to help you, because that right there, that desire, that feeling of, wow, this person wants to help me fix my problem is so powerful, because they become repeat clients. They're going to say, I'm going to stay with you for 3 months because this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who's going to be there with me, not someone who just could be there for me. It's so important. And just how you went into that dealership I want to be sold. I want to be sold. I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to buy. People typically don't do consultations with me unless they're like ready to buy. So it's like, I'm ready. There's a problem in my life. I'm looking for a solution. Can you be that solution? Yes, I can be that solution. And you were looking for that person to sell that car. Can you sell me this car? I don't know if you did. Did you get the car or did you not get the car?
So, I actually, in that particular case, I did not buy that car from
Mm,
that person. However, I went back.
mm.
I got a different salesperson. That person had a sale within 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. What was the difference then? Like, what was the question that the new person asked?
You know, it wasn't even the questions, because questions are really important. It was, they let me talk. They listened. Because I literally had said the same thing to both of them, like, hey, I am looking, you have on the lot this car. It's white. It has this, and it's this. This is the car I'm looking for. And so one's like, okay, great. The one that ended up getting the sale. The other one just went down some tangents that I'm like, I already knew all that stuff, but he just wouldn't stop talking. And so,
Yeah, no, knowing when to listen is so important. I mean, people come to me not to hear me talk. Sometimes it is that, like if they're looking for accountability where they want me to call them out on their stuff, but most of the time they just want to talk and they are looking for solutions after that. Getting into that art is not something that's going to be overnight. It could take some time. What is your method for helping people begin to get some training or to get stronger in that art of sales and negotiation?
okay. So I have a framework that I teach everyone. It's based on the word or the letters SALES. Imagine that. Sales. So the first one is S. It's switch your mindset. It's taking care of all the imposter syndrome, all the I can't do this, get them from doing maybe scared selling or slimy selling into noble selling, into that mindset of that. A is about face. It's all about the customer. It's learning everything about the customer, being able to ask the right questions of that customer so that you can really, really dig really deep. There's something I call the iceberg theory that I teach within that module. And it's based on when you see an iceberg in the water, floating in the water, all you see is 20%. 80% is actually under the water. So think of the Titanic, right? 80% of the iceberg that took it down was underneath the water. If you can get to what's under the water, that's gold. It will tell you so much. The customer's going to tell you, instead of saying, I want something, you're going to find out what they really need, which is really what will get them to the next level. You'll be able to figure out, okay, what type of offer should I give them? Are they ready? Are they not ready? What do I need to do to get them to that transformation so that we can close this deal? And typically when you really dig deep, the deeper that you dig, the bigger potential deal you're going to have. Instead of selling $27 product, maybe you'll sell something that's $9.97 or several $1,000s or even to $1 million, depending on like where you are and the type of products that you sell. So that's A. L is love your product and love your customer. Now that sounds really simple, but what I have seen, and I've actually experienced this myself too, but what I've seen is, when you're selling and things aren't going your way, it gets hard. Business gets hard. And then to get up in the morning, you'll be like, oh, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to talk to that customer? If you approach it that way, it's going to be so hard, so hard. So I take people back to the moment when they, especially if it's like a B2C, but even like B2B, this works too. The moment that you came up with something, like for you, like coaching, what was that moment, that spark that made you go, this would be so great if I could do this. I want to tell everybody about it. It's bringing you back to that moment and then incorporating it in what you do. E has to do with your energy, how empathetic you are, a lot of different things in that kind of emotional area. It's all about emotions. And then S is strategy. So it's the framework that I walk everybody through. And it really encompasses everything that you need to know about selling. And you can go as deep or as light as you want into that framework.
And would anyone be able to work with you to get this framework, or would it have to be only like a mid-sized business all the way up to like a public?
No, I do work with go-getter entrepreneurs. That's my I call them go-getters because I want people that actually want to learn and want a transformation and need a mentor. Not somebody that just is like, I'm doing this as a hobby, because they're wasting their time, their money, because they're never going to go further, versus somebody that really wants it. Oh, give me somebody that really wants it. I'll take that person all day long. And then, of course, I work with the corporations as well, small businesses that have sales teams. I sometimes look at their strategy. Sometimes a little shift will make a huge difference, huge difference.
Yeah, no, this is really good stuff, because the people who are listening, who have those business, who are those go-getter entrepreneurs, and I know people who listen to Coaching in Session are go-getters, because we talk all about personal development, all about growth, and the people who are here want to be here. They want to learn. It's not just, oh, I'm going to listen to a podcast for entertainment. When you're listening to this is about your growth, you becoming a better person. And I know that Kathy's going to be there to help you become a better person too, not only in your go-getting type of mentality, your sales, your reading the body language, strategy, building, all of that. She can do that. She can encompass your whole totality of your business. You can go from 0 sales to $1 billion in sales.
Right.
And it's just maybe sometimes a small tweak. Kathy, you and I could probably talk all day on sales, but if you can, give us any last words and tell the audience where they can find you.
Absolutely. So I guess my last words is, hey, if I could sell, and if I can sell, anybody can do it. So believe in yourself, and certainly, go after your dreams. And, I always say it's kind of like making a ripple, right? One little small step makes a big difference, and every day, if you're making this small little step, pretty soon, instead of having a ripple, you're going to have a wave.
Right.
Yes. And then I can be found at theprofessionalrulebreaker.com. And if you go to my website on the front page, you can actually book a free strategy session with me where there will be no selling, and I can give you some advice, maybe some low-hanging fruit that you can go after in your business.
Perfect. And I definitely will put all of the links. If you have socials, I'll add those to the description box below. People can follow you. They can get that consultation. They can begin to learn more about the work you do, because there's going to be many business owners that are beginning that need some type of mentorship, that need some type of guidance. And I think that you're the person, you're that light that they need. So I want to thank you so much for coming on, sharing a little bit of your wisdom today, and then doing the work that you do and helping all these businesses.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. I would like to thank you so much for watching that episode with Kathy and myself. As you can see, she is well vetted in the work that she does. She is knowledgeable. She's kind. She's sweet, and she wants to see you succeed. And I mean, you can't ask for a better coach than that. A coach that wants to see you do good. I always say that like coaching is, instead of someone being across from you, they're right next to you. They're right next to you. They're sitting with you rather than in front of you. Let's do this together. How can we make this work? Because it can be scary to go out and do sales. It can be scary to go out and be vulnerable. I'm sure when you're walking up to a girl, guy you like, maybe at the bar, and you say, hey, how you doing, cutie? And all of a sudden, oh, leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. Okay. Now you have that, I guess, that failure, right? And you say, well, maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe they don't like me, or people just don't like me. So we just get that negative type of mindset. So we don't act. We don't make any actions. We don't make any movements in our life because we had that one bad scenario. Now, just because we had one bad scenario doesn't mean we can't have a good scenario next time. So maybe we try it again. Maybe we change our strategy. Maybe instead of going up to them saying, hey, how are you doing? Maybe we just go over there next to them, buy a drink, and just say, a lot of people here today, huh? You say something like that. You're starting a conversation. You're not saying, hey, how you doing or anything. You're just asking them a question. A lot of people here. Maybe they could have said, yeah, it's a lot of people. I can't believe it. Hi, my name is Michael. Nice to meet you. Oh, I'm Amanda, whatever. And then from there, you have a conversation. Because maybe your first initial strategy didn't work, but your second strategy can work. But maybe your second strategy doesn't work. Maybe your third strategy doesn't work. Because sometimes, again, we have this mindset of what a sale is. We don't want to be too pushy. We don't want to be snakes in the grass and trying to get everyone. Sales is not that. Sales is helping people. When I'm coaching people, I'm helping them. I'm not selling them anything, right? They have that power within them right there to choose to go for the solution or to choose to stay in their problem. I don't want them to stay in their problem, but at the same time, I can't move them in their life, but I can move them to take action. I can say, I understand we're feeling this way, and this is a powerful feeling, but we can feel different than this depression and this stress. We can feel something more powerful. We can feel happiness. We can feel ease. We can feel love and affection. I would rather that for you than the alternative of being sad and depressed and unsure and stressed. I don't want you to be there anymore. That is more powerful than just saying, well, I can help you. I've helped 100 people already do this. I've helped 1,000 people do this. Everyone who comes to me, they love me. No. Help them understand that there's something else, and we all have that selling ability in us, within us. We can be good salespeople. Sometimes we have to make some tweaks. Sometimes we need a mentor to teach us, to hold us accountable, to guide us, to ensure us that we have what it takes. And Kathy has what it takes to be an educator. Kathy has what it takes to be your teacher and mentor. And I encourage you, again, to reach out to Kathy, even if you go all the way to her socials, to send her a DM saying, hey, Kathy, I saw you on Coaching in Session. Love to hear from you. Maybe you go all the way, you have a business, you go get a consultation, figure out what strategy you need. And then once you have that strategy, begin the work. Do not dilly-gag and wait for the right moment, because there is none. Right now, let's take action today. Because if you're going to say you're going to follow up, or you're going to send a message, but you don't, then we are already doing what Kathy said not to do. Ensure that you follow up. Ensure that you take action. Action is what action must be. Where is our purpose? Where is our goal? Where is our new self, our best self? It's right there in front of us. How do we get there? We have to take some action. So take action today. Reach out to Kathy. Reach out and just say, hey, I would like to make a change in my business. I'm looking for some help. I'm looking for some assistance. I'm looking for an outside look, because we all have a blind spot in our life. And if you can have a mentor that can help you, you're going to be a step ahead of the game. My name is Michael Reardon. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.